Much of the Salvation Army's work goes unseen, such as the emergency shelter and counseling services it provides for women and children escaping abusive domestic situations. Sarah came to the Salvation Army in Vancouver after being abused by her husband for years.
Mostly was beaten up. Mostly was every morning, every afternoon, every day.
Every day your husband would beat you up?
Every day. Certain things wrong, little bit. I was in the bathroom, lock the door, and get beat up.
Were you ever put in the hospital? Were you ever severely beaten?
Yes. I was with my family doctor lots of times. I was in Landsgate Hospital lots of times. But being from another country, being from another culture, being from raised in another way, I didn't know I can get help. I just said, this is my destiny, this is my life, and I'm gonna survive. One day, it's gonna be fine.
Sarah made the decision to leave her husband after he began turning on their eldest daughter.
Somebody from the Salvation Army Kid Boathouse came halfway, picked me up with my children, and I went there. I stayed there 45 days with my children. During the 45 days, I feel like I'm born again. I feel like I'm gonna have my life, my children, and it is not the world like you get beat up for the food or for the shelter. Somebody can love.
What do you think would have happened had you not made the very brave decision to leave?
I think I was ending up to do suicide. Yes, because I didn't have family to talk. I didn't have anybody to talk. And I was afraid to lose my children. Because it is already hard. You don't know the language. You don't know the culture. You don't have a way to go. Already. And especially see your child is getting hurt in front of you. Because he was starting to hate my older daughter. He did 2 times. I was just supposed to watch. As a mother, see somebody is just banging on your child's head. And she didn't do anything wrong. Nothing wrong.
What would you like to say about the Army?
Well, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart to them, thank you for giving my life and my children's life back again. And I appreciated the time right now, the quiet life I have in the Vancouver with my family, with my children. I am thankful for them. And thank to the Lord and all blessing for them.
In Montreal, as in many large Canadian cities, a continuing need is for effective drug rehabilitation. The Salvation Army runs an intensive 6-month recovery program for men at its Booth Center in downtown Montreal. The program is called Anchorage. Lynn Hencher is the former director of the Anchorage program.
Our particular program, you have to be 18 years of age and older. But they are in the process right now in Montreal of setting up a program specifically designed for kids from the ages of 13 to 18, a drug addiction program specifically for them.
As with any addiction treatment program, there are more failures than successes. But success does come. Hencher points proudly to a wall of photographs featuring graduates of the Anchorage program. Richard Beliveau is the director of the Anchorage program. He's a former cocaine addict. In fact, drugs just about ruined his life.
For the last year of my addiction, which I was a coke addict for 8 years, I was sniffing 2 grams of coke every day, 7 days a week. The worst part is I was married, had 4 kids. My wife and my kids didn't know I was using.
How did you get straight?
How did I get straight? By doing this therapy, the anchorage from the Salvation Army, and putting God in my life. Because the first thing I realized is I didn't have control of my life. I didn't know what to do with it. So I said, since I don't know what to do with it, you want my life, take it and do something with it. And it wasn't easy, because being in a rehab center and having a wife and 4 kids living at home, which she doesn't drive. We were living on the South Shore. She used to work in Montreal. Plus she was used to salary coming in. So I used to call her at night and she would cry and stuff like that. It was pretty hard. Sometimes I would say, maybe I should just go home. But inside of me it was, no, I need to do this for myself. I need to get better. If I don't get better, there's no chance of living.
What do you think would have happened to you had the Salvation Army facility here not been in existence?
I wouldn't be sitting in front of you talking today. I would have probably been dead by then. Because if I didn't have this place to come to, I would have kept using. And by using, I would have just killed myself.
Many addicts recover. Some never do. The Salvation Army is there for all of them. Neil Bacon runs Crosswalk, the Army's drop-in center on West Hastings Street in Vancouver, in the most drug-infested area of Canada.
Drugs are destroying this community. Years ago, the big problem in this area was alcohol, and which was still destructive, but basically, when a guy's an alcoholic or whatever, once they got their bottle, they were kind of happy for the day, and you knew what you were dealing with. People that are on crack have to get high about every 20 minutes. And so there's a perpetual cycle of get the money, find the money from somewhere, get the drugs, get high, come back down, and start the cycle over again. And so it's very difficult sometimes to sit and talk to these people because they're like a flea on a hot rock. They just can't sit because their whole life is get your next fixed. Either cocaine or heroin is the other drug of choice. And so they're always after that next high.
That has to be enormously frustrating for you. How do you keep your spirits up day after day to deal with people who many times are high?
Well, I have to look at it as that, for one, if Christ was here, I think this is the kind of work he'd be doing and the people he'd be dealing with. In terms of just general numbers, I remember reading a quote by Mother Teresa when somebody had asked her, how do you deal with the hundreds of thousands of people you deal with? And she said, I don't. I deal with one at a time. I can only feed one at a time, love one at a time. And that's the way I deal with it here, is I can only deal with one individual at a time.
Up to 1,500 people a day drop in at Crosswalk. Mike is a regular at the Salvation Army drop-in center. In fact, he's been coming here for years.
I used to do a lot of drugs, okay? Which, I'm all right now. Thanks to the Salvation Army again, If it wasn't for those people, well, probably I might have been standing out there running up and down trying to push my pipe or whatever, right?
I think the biggest killer in this neighborhood, more than drugs and alcohol, is the sense of hopelessness. When people give up on themselves, and we're trying to give them back that hope and to realize they can do better than this and they can crawl above this and they can carry on. We are in the heart of the war zone, but let it be known that the Salvation Army is a presence in this neighborhood, and we intend to keep being a presence and fighting what is going on here.